Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Happy Monday. Today I'm going to be doing, look at the size of this box. It's massive. I'm going to be doing pack 10 of the Agora models release and build the Corvette Stingray. Now there is a reason why that box is so big and I've got it down here, but I'm not going to tease you with that until we actually get to that stage. But today we are going to be making the doors for the Stingray. And as you can see, I've boarded up here, but I've only boarded up here just so you can have a look and see how far we got at the moment. We've still got the electrics all hanging out at the moment. The reason being is because we're not actually using that today, but you'll see what I mean in a second for that. Now, if you do want to get this for yourself, it's available for Agora models. I'll put a link in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen. I'm going to jump straight into it. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So here's the first door that we're going to be doing in stage 81. And this is what that first door is looking like. Pretty impressive, huh? Now, rather than bring up the whole Partwork Upgrades map, because I'm only working on a small area today, I'm going to do the next best thing and just use one of the Partwork Upgrades T-towels I've got here so I can actually keep this into position. And all I'm going to be doing is putting the door handle in first. And that's just going to be going into this position right here. And it's held in with one of these screws. If we get in this, it's an FM screw. So it screws into the hole just here. And once that's in, this has got to be marked as probably the quickest stage of any build, because that is all there is to do in that stage. In stage 82 here, as you can see, I've got the inner door trim, and I've also got the hinge here. So again, I'm going to put my mat down and bring over the metal door. I do like this door. I've already done a colour match check on this as well. The colour's absolutely perfect. But what I am going to do is I'm going to put the hinge into place. Now we do want the hinge to be this way round, so that when I'm lying it down, it's going to go into that gap just there. And then to hold it in, I've got this plate, which is going to go over the top. And then that's held in with these flange screws here, which are VM screws. So you want to put these in as tight as you can get them, just so the door's got a little bit of resistance on this hinge when it opens. Otherwise it will just be too floppy and it will wobble around. But there we go. That's the hinge in place. And with this door trim, which we're actually using at the moment, that's all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 83 here, I'm going to be detailing that inner panel. So I've got lots of stuff in here, which we're going to be adding to that. So first thing we're going to do is create the handrest. And as you can see, we've got this chrome section here. This side has got some holes in it. I'm just going to be pushing this top into those holes. So one here and one here, and just push that down. Quite a tight fit, but that should look like that. Then I'm going to be adding that to the inner door card, which looks like that there. Going in this way, and it's going to be held in with these AP screws. So one there, and one there. They're going to be taking the door reflector knob, which looks like that. It is shaped, it's got a D shaped on it. It's going to go into this top hole here. So it fits flush in there. And once again, an AP screw is going to hold that into place. Perfect. I've got another one just to put below it. And an AP screw in there as well. Now this whole section can go on this door trim that we had in the last stage. That's just going to go over the top like this here. And I'm just pushing this into place. It will hold itself in there. But I do want to turn it over, and I do want to attach a couple of AP screws just to ensure that that's going nowhere. And they're going to be held in by these two just at the bottom here. So one here and one here. Now I'm going to be taking some of the window cranks. Now one of them is bigger than the other one, as you can see. I want the short one first. This is the vent window crank. That's just going to go into the hole here. Again, it's got a certain way that can go to fit flush. But this time I'm using a different screw. I'm using a BP screw. That will hold that in place. And then I want to take the larger window crank, and that's just going to go down the bottom like that. And this time I need one of these PP screws, PP, because this is going to have a crank on the other side, which looks like this. Again, it's got a D-shaped pattern, so I need to make sure that that lines up so that fits flush on there, just like that, and it's held in with these flanged PP screws. So when I turn this, as you can see, that crank goes around. We've got a bit of trim now, which is going to go down this route here. So it's just a case of lining up the lugs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get them all the way in. It does take some pushing, that does, but you need it to be flat like that. The last thing to do is the door lock knob that I've got in my hand here is just going to push into the hole here. You want that to be in quite tight as well. So now that looks like that. It does hold itself in, no problems at all. So with all the detailing of this done, that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 84 here, I'm going to now be doing the left window and finishing this door. We've got a spring in here, so be careful. Now I am going to put a cloth down here just so I don't scratch this perspex here, because I need the window first. And then I need this leverage system. I want it this way up, so the ridges are facing upwards here. That's just going to go in there like that. It's held in with a TP screw. This will enable this to move freely in here without coming out. Just put that to one side. Bring over this inner door again, because I've got another gear to put on. It looks like this, and it's got some pins on top. We want the pins to be facing upwards. Put that in there and ensure it engages down the bottom there. But I want it orientated this way, so that the pins are in sort of like a 2 o'clock, 8 o'clock position. Then I'm going to take the window, put that in where it goes here, and I want to ensure that the end of this fits into the center of this crank here. At the same time, I want to ensure very hard that the pins that I've just tried to line up go into this bar. So there we go, that's all in place like that. Once again, a TP screw, which is one of the flange screws to hold this into place. There's nothing holding that window in at the moment, so I'm just going to leave that like that at the moment. This is where I'm going to need the spring now and the locking mechanism for the door. So the spring's just going to go onto that long shaft there. I can put that to one side, bring over the door. And I want to be taking this lock pin bushing, having it this way round with the ridges facing up. It's just going into that indent just there. Then I get to take the actual locking mechanism and pass that through this side. So that's sitting in there like that now. And then I'm going to be taking one of these FM screws and securing that bushing into place. So now, as you can see, this pin is on a spring mechanism like that. Put that to one side, bring back over what we were just working on. I've got the quarter light panel now, which looks like this, has a tab at the bottom to go in. It's going to sit on top just into that channel there and there. And then we're going to use gravity to put everything together. So I'm going to leave everything there and line this up on this side. So that can fit flush in there, just like that. Then I can turn this over. Perfect. Now the first screws we're going to be putting in to hold this in are 3 DM screws just into these holes. And then in the 2 at the top here, we're going to be putting in some WM screws. Now let's just check the windows here. So if I operate this side here, they should go down and up. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Excellent. Along this side, to hide those screws, I've got this bit of felt trim. So I'll line up one side here. And there we go. Ensure that's in okay. I want another FM screw, which I've just loaded up here. That's going to be going into the hole just at the side here. And then just on the front here, I've got this final bit of trim, which is just going to be pushed into the holes that I've got on the side. So one there, and that's in perfectly, and that is a finished door. As you can see, the quarter light opens and closes as well. Now there is a reason why that box was so big, and that's the last stage of this pack. You're going to love this. Look at it. It's ginormous. Got almost half the bodywork here. Let me get this open. And that is what it's looking like. Excellent. I'll do it from the other side as well, so you can see that. And of course, to my head, that's how big that section looks like. You can see the space for the windows at the back there. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to lie this down. And to stop it warping in transit, we do have this transit bar here, which I just need to remove. Now, we don't keep this, we can throw that away. There is a couple of things to do in this one though, and that is we've just got to put the door catches on. Now these are stamped, so we've got L for left and hopefully R for right. So I want the left one first, and it's going to be going into the holes that you can see just there. So there's a locating lug on one side, so that can go in there like that. Then I need one of these AP screws that come in this stage. Turn this upside down, and I'm going to be securing it in from the hole that you might just be able to see on the side camera there. And once we've done that, I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the right hand side. And in a similar way, AP screw to hold that into place. And with that done, that's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. Now the recording time for this was only 28 minutes. So I'm looking at it and seeing that we've done one door. And I know that in pack 11, we're going to be doing another door. We're going to be doing the headlining. So it is Monday. We did the same thing last week. I'm going to bundle two packs together. So let's go and do pack 11. Now pack 11 comes in a nice box like this. A lot smaller than the other one, but we're going to be starting another door first. So now you know how we build these doors, I'm going to whiz through it a little bit quicker this time. And for that reason, I'm going to bundle all of these stages together. So just like last time, here's the door. I'm going to be putting the door handle on like this. And then I've got an FM screw to put that in with, just into the hole here. And that's that stage complete. It pretty much exactly follows what we done last time. So again, I've got the door trim on this, which I don't need at the moment. I still need the main door because I'm about to put the hinge on. And just like last time, I'm going to take the hinge, having it orientated this way, put that over the top, then put the metal plate to keep that into position. And then I've got these flange screws, which are VM screws to hold this in. That's another hinge on, and that's all there is to do in that stage. Then I've got a lot of the inner trim details to put on. I think I only need the instructions now to tell me what screws I'm using. I can't remember that, but I can remember where everything goes. So once again, I'm creating this handrest. It can only go one way round because there are different size holes, but that's there. That's going to go into the two holes just there, held in with AP screws. Then I've got the two door lock reflectors to put in, which come in here. They can only go in a certain way because it is a D-shaped hole. So just keep rotating it until it fits flush in there. And once again, AP screw, bring over the inner trim panel, and this is just going to push into place on here like that. Turn it over. Once again, two AP screws down the bottom to hold that in. Taking the shorter winding mechanism here, that's going to go on the top. Again, you want to make sure that that fits in flush in there. This time that's a BP screw we're holding that one in with. Now I'm going to take the other winding mechanism, put that through here, get that in, and then on the other side I have got the little crank that's going to go over the top. Again, D-shaped pattern, so that's going to fit flush in there. And we're holding that into place with one of these flanged PP screws, putting the trim into the holes here, just pushing down only where the lugs are. So one there, and one there, because you don't want to break that looking like that. All that's left to do is the door locking mechanism just to push this in here, and that's in like that, and that's that stage complete. In stage 89, we've got the glazing here. Let's get this open, and the rest of the door parts with the spring, if you remember. Put the pane with these parts facing up. Then I'm going to be putting this underneath like that, and it's held in with a TP screw. I do think this makes a lot more sense just showing you these together. I can then put that to one side, bring over this inner trim panel again, and once again I'm going to be putting on the crank, ensuring it's this time, because it's the other way round, sort of like a 10 to 4 position. Then I can put the window on and line up these parts here with the pins on top, and again one of these flange TP screws to keep that into place. Make the door lock again, so once again it means putting the spring over the locking mechanism, bringing over the metal door, putting in this way round the bush which goes in there that way, thread the lock into that so it sits upright there, and then using an FM screw, just going to screw that into here and check that we've got springiness on that, which we have. Bring this panel back over and put the quarter light window onto the 2 points just here, and there's one on the other side. Let me get that in there. And then it's just a case of mixing these together like that, turning it over and putting DM screws into those 3 holes, WM screws in the top holes. Check that the window can go up and down. As you can see, that's working absolutely fine. Some trim to hide the screw holes there, just some red felt this is. And then finally just this trim panel here, which is going to go into the lugs on the outside of the door here. So one in here and one at the top. Push that in, and that is another door complete. Then stage 90, as you can see here, we've got the windscreen. So I am going to put this orange mat down again, lay down this chrome frame I've got, and I want to line up the window with the indents on the frame, as you can see there. Now if I bring up the car now, you should be able to see how this goes. This window is going to go under the lip at the top, pushing it up there, get these sides lined in and the front, and I'm going to need UP screws to actually keep this in. So holding it from the top and turning it upside down, I'm going to ensure that these are tight in position here, which they are. Putting these lugs into the holes here with UP screws. So once you've got one in, it's easy to get the rest of them in. And then the 2 outer ones we're going to be holding in with VP screws. And there you go, that's the windscreen in place. In stage 91, as you can see, we've got the windows for the rear of the vehicle. And again, these are going to go in a similar way. So I just take the window, line it up here, and clip this in between all of the lugs on each side. There are 2 that actually go through the window, like that. And 2 which sort of sit off center from it. So it does hold itself in, as you can see. Do the same on the other side. And there we go, that's both of those in the frames. Bring over this section again of the car, and these actually just push into place. So this one's going to go in here, and make sure that each lug goes in all the way around. When you've got it in, you should hear it click in. But there you go, that's one side in. Just do the same on the other side. I'm putting the side ones in first, then keeping my fingers guiding the rest of them round. When they're in, they should look like that, and that's the end of that stage. So the last stage of this pack is just to prepare the roof liner. And the first thing I need to do is create the lens for the interior light, just lining up the lug that we've got on this side with the reflector. So it goes in this way, and then push both of those together. Now the lug should come out the other side, which is going to enable us to line it up with the holes just in the middle there. So this goes in like this. We've got these little WP screws, which is going to hold that in just from this side here. So I need 2 of these. All that's left to do is to disconnect lead A4 from the main car. I'm going to be putting that into the top of that section there. Then I'm going to be tracing the wires along this trench here. To keep that in place, we do have these black adhesive strips again to ensure that's not going to go anywhere. The last one just on this side here. Excellent. So that's the light ready to go, but that is all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in both of those packs. I do love this section here. Look at it. It looks so good. Okay, I do know that in stage 12 we haven't connected any of these electrics up, so I'm guessing that's going to be a really big pack, but that should be coming next month. But I enjoyed that. We obviously still have to put the headlining in as well. If you do want to get this for yourself, I've put a link in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen, but I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.